Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the European Masters Tiebreakers. We are going to be jumping into some extra matches in Group B and Group C to decide who will advance to the quarterfinals next week. My name is Scoundrel. I'm joined by Foxdrop, and do you know what, Foxy? I am so glad that we've got another day of action here at the European Masters. I am super excited about every single one of the games that we've got coming up today. They're all absolute bangers.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of tiebreakers, right? You don't get to a tiebreaker unless you're a great team. And we have a lot of great teams to watch today. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely spicy. The last time all these teams played, we had absolute corkers as well. So I'm expecting much the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at Group B first, because that is the first tiebreaker situation that we're going to be bringing you today. This is LDLC, Giants and Rogue, and you can just see some of the highlights of their play. I mean, they really were toe-to-toe in almost every single one of their games.
Yeah, this is the last time LDLC and Giants played in the group stage. This was the AP Shyvana game, raining fire upon the Rift and just one-shotting people. It's a bit of a mind-blowing game. I really wasn't expecting to see an AP Shyvana out of TynX, but TynX, he's been the real superstar of LDLC, and hey, you got to be afraid of him now because he's whipping out everything.
Yeah, and this is the second time. This is actually watching Giants up against Diffuse Kids. Diffuse Kids, unfortunately, unable to advance out of this group. They were the only team that was completely eliminated. But Giants as well, one of the last hopes of the SLO. Remember, two SLO teams are taking place or featuring in our tiebreakers today. And if neither of them make it, we will have no SLO teams in the quarterfinals, which is kind of unheard of for the European Masters.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you count Origin in 2018, who are kind of representing Spain, then they won it in 2018 spring. Then Mad Lions won it in 2018 summer. Like, the SLO, the Spanish region, has always performed in the EU Masters, and we're seeing Vodafone Giants in Group B fight for their lives to even get into the quarterfinals, and later we'll be seeing YellOwStaR as well. So absolutely, we could be seeing a world where there are no Spanish representatives in the quarterfinals, which would just be it just feels like a strange EU Masters without those Spaniards, you know? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and I just want to highlight what you just saw on the screen there. You did see the schedule for today, including the brackets. So the bracket shows you LDLC taking on Vodafone Giants, who the winner will then go on to face Rogue. Now, if you win that first match, you're guaranteed qualification out of the group. So the first match is for group life or death between LDLC and Vodafone Giants. And then the match that is following, versus up against Rogue, is essentially for seeding coming out of the groups. The winner will take the first seed and the loser will get the second seed. But if you make it to that next match versus Rogue, you are going to have a guaranteed qualification. So those are the first two games that we'll be bringing you today. We also have Group C as well, which features exactly the same tiebreaker setup. We have another three-way tie in Group C to get into, this time featuring Movistar Riders, Schalke Evolution and Kick.
Yeah, Kick really coming out guns blazing, surprising all of us, at least me, because they were a playing team. You know, they're the number 2 Polish seed. They weren't expected to really make a huge run in the group stage, and here they are playing for tiebreakers, and they've already guaranteed their win, right? Like, they're in the quarterfinals. They're not the number 1 seed yet, but they're fighting for that number 1 seed. I'm really surprising to just really impressed by the way the Polish team has played, and Movistar, Schalke always delivered. Schalke, one of the favourites for this entire tournament coming into E-Masters 2020, and so far, I mean, I don't want to say they've disappointed, but they're literally in a tiebreaker to decide whether or not they even make it out of groups. If they flounder here, that would be thoroughly disappointing for the Dark region, who are the defending champions as well of E-Masters.
Yeah. What I need to say is, obviously, Kick Neosurf a guaranteed qualification, like you said, but that also is 2 Polish teams, 2 Ultraliga teams that are guaranteed to get into the quarterfinals. I think, we're really seeing, a continuous, positive performance from that region. They've always been good, and they're continuing to do so. Kick Neosurf, you can see here at the top of the bracket, it will be a Prime League versus the SLO once more. And like we said, if the SLO loses in both of these initial matches, they will not have a representative in the quarterfinals, which would be absolutely huge. And obviously then Schalke Evolution, as you said, one of the favourites for the entire tournament, are actually fighting for their tournament lives in our third game of the day.
Yeah, it's just if you painted a picture for me before the groups had started and you showed me this right here on your screen, these are the tiebreakers to decide who's even going to make it in the quarterfinals, I probably would not have believed you at all. Because LDLC, every single time they come into E-Masters, they're always hyped up. Vodafone Giants, number 1 seed out of Spain. Movistar Riders had a great start as well. Number 2 out of Spain. Spanish, we've hyped up the Spanish region long enough. And again, Schalke, number 1 German team. It's like, these are really, really good teams. And we're actually seeing the eventuality where some of them won't even make it into quarterfinals.
Well, we are jumping straight into our first game. LDLC versus Vodafone Giants, the French LFL seeds, and versus the Vodafone Giants, the number 1 seeds coming from the SLO, like you said. I do want to kind of talk about LDLC just a little bit, though, as an organisation. In the European Masters, we have constantly seen LDLC make it to this level of competition. They've constantly come in super hyped up. Everyone reckoning that they're going to be potential finalists, semi-finalists at the very least, and LDLC have constantly disappointed. I don't think there's any other way of painting a picture brighter than that. LDLC have never lived up to the expectations that they have been, I guess, granted in the European Masters. And this time round, the roster that they've got, they are again fighting for their tournament lives. If they fail to make it out of the groups, it would be devastating for the first seed coming from the French scene.
Yeah,
no,
we're always
second seed.
Second seed, yeah. We're always looking for the LFL to surprise us, and by surprise I mean not surprise us really, because they're always surprising us by being a bit meh, honestly, specifically with LDLC. And firstly, I love this. First thing we're going to see out of LDLC is the Graves lock-in. We've been seeing such a higher priority on this champion pick. It started out with Trundle beginning of group stages in the E-Masters. Now it's the Graves. It's a TynX special as well, so I feel like it's pretty good timing for this champion to come into meta, and LDLC not sweating anything by insta-locking that champ.
Yeah, and I kind of want to touch on what you just highlighted there. TynX made his name in the European Masters, in the very first European Masters that we had. That's Ornn and a Misfortune locked in, of course, but TynX essentially kind of broke onto the scene in our very first European Masters 2 years ago in spring, and we were like hyping this guy up, and the champions he was spamming during that tournament, Graves and Nidalee. He was kind of known as the Graves and Nidalee player during that tournament. Now, with the resurgence of Graves, we're getting TynX on probably one of his most famous and comfortable champions, and that is a lock-in of Varus and Zoe. Vétheo taking Zoe here, we imagine, in the mid lane, and Varus is seeing a lot of play at this level, and especially lethality Varus, just looking for those big, hard-hitting poke arrows.
I'm a little bit surprised in the draft already with the fact that LDLC didn't look in the Braum here. Like, you see Ornn and Misfortune both get mega hard countered by that Braum shield, and LDLC decided they don't want to pick it. I would imagine, Vodafone Giants aren't going to leave anything up to the low gods here, and there it is. They slap down that instant Braum ban. But LDLC, they've really put value on these 2 picks here. Yes, Varus is very strong. Hades has played, I think, 3 or 4 Varus games already so far in EU Masters. And Zoe is one of Vétheo's comfort picks. And I do think that for LDLC to succeed, you need a little bit more oomph out of Vétheo. Quite hyped up coming into the tournament. He's very, very young, but hasn't quite delivered so far. So getting him in comfort, I think, is a very smart job.
Agree, and actually just to confirm, it's 3 games of Varus that we've seen from Hades. It is his most played AD carry in the tournament so far. Another little cool stat that me and Foxy found out about Hades, he has a 28 KDA across all of his games. The next closest KDA in the entire tournament is Jeskla at 7. So Hades has like an insane KDA, but they haven't managed to convert any of that into like a commanding win. They're 4-2. They're obviously in a tiebreaker situation. They haven't managed to convert this insane AD carry performance from Hades into anything tangible. Maybe due to the detriment of the other side of the map, I think Bando has been one of the question marks around LDLC. I have seen the Twitch chat spam that Bando had, but I think at the end of the day, Bando does need to step up, and this is the game where he needs to shine. There definitely have been question marks over him. He's going into a matchup that he's pretty certain is going to be the Ornn here, so I want to be looking at Bando this game. I think he's one of the players that I would like to see step up and perform in a sort of a do-or-die game for LDLC.
Ooh, this is interesting here. So you're locking in that Jarvan, very good into both Zoe and Varus, because they are carries who don't have any escape abilities. Thresh obviously has also been taken off the board, so you're not even going to be able to take that Lantern out of the Jarvan. And that's a Mordekaiser. Okay, this is the first Mordekaiser we've seen out of Bando in EU Masters. I'm not sure if he's played in LFL at all. Let me just quickly check that. But either way, it's like, okay, fair enough. Like, you're going up against Ornn. Ornn is one of the big powerhouses of everything: assassination, tankiness, dueling, laning, everything you think of. That's, you know, he's sorted on that front. And yeah, Bando is first timing 2020 his Mordekaiser up against it. I think that's you know, what better time to whip that out, you know? it's the tiebreaker elimination game. Go for it.
If you need to step up, right? If you need to step up, if you need to have a good performance in lane, this is it for Bando. He needs to go in on this Mordekaiser. That is the composition locked in for LDLC, by the way. It is going to be YellOwStaR's Bard, which he has played once before in the tournament as of yet. And Kassadin will be the final lock-in for Prettygree in the mid lane here. So we're going to have four champions and a caster minion for a little bit of the game here for Giants. But these are the compositions. What do you think of them, Foxy? What do you make of both of these comps?
Actually, I really like this draft to start off the day. I think both teams have kind of thrown in a bit of comfort here. Pretty is a very adept LeBlanc player, and obviously like LeBlanc's been taken off, but Kassadin is kind of similar in that sense. Like, I feel like if you can play LeBlanc, you're probably a good Kassadin player as well. And I do think it contains Zoe just a little bit in that mid lane. There's some of the choices as well that you're seeing is with the teleport. Like, Kassadin's just really looking to kind of hold on early, just not feed Vétheo and then kind of outscale in the side lane as the game goes on. And I'm really curious to see, like, what does Lamabear decide to do here? Because for me, there's a huge target on bot lane. Like, especially with YellOwStaR locking in that Bard. You know, like, there's no protection there anymore for those immobile AD carries out of Varus and Zoe. So he's gone for the more like, yo, I'm taking this into my own hands, you know? And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but that's also risky, and we'll see whether Lamabear can punish him.
Yeah, I definitely feel like when you're playing a Varus lane into Nautilus, it's always going to be a little bit scary with an AD carry that is as immobile as him. But, you know, YellOwStaR feels confident locking in the Bard in this situation. We are heading on to the Rift here, ladies and gentlemen. This do-or-die game for LDLC and Vodafone Giants. The LFL and the SLO, two incredibly celebrated regions in the European scene, especially with all the history that the SLO has in this particular tournament. It would be devastating for them to lose one of their two seeds, potentially, in this game. And obviously LDLC constantly need to prove themselves at this level, and this is the time to do so. This is a best of one to decide who makes it out of the group, and it looks like Giants are just grouping up, maybe expecting some kind of weird Bard shenanigans early on. Nothing will happen though. LDLC taking no chances here.
Bard is a very, very strong level 1 champion. Like, that Q with the double stun, really, really powerful. So Giants going to respect that one, get that stack up in the bush, but no shenanigans happening just yet at level 1 here. Alright, that's Mordekaiser's guitar. I thought something had gone wrong with my headset there, actually. I just heard like cacophony in my ears, and I'm like, wait a tick, this could be bad. No, it's just Bando playing the old air guitar there. Now LDLC going to go for a delayed invade into Giants topside jungle.
Classic Graves move as well. He's so strong at level 1. But I think Giants are very well aware of this, and they have just warded over. They'll probably split into some kind of vertical jungling here with Lamabear going straight over to the red buff. There is vision on red side jungle entrances, but he could probably walk through Dragon Pit and just flag and drag over.
Yeah, he's going to try and do that. You don't want to fall too far behind early against Graves by, you know, just getting behind on those camps. Like, Graves isn't necessarily picked for this early pressure. Like, he's not going to take over an early game like some other champions do, like the Olaf or something like that. It's not terrifying to let him get ahead early, but he does have the upside of being able to put pressure down on the enemy jungler. So you definitely want to keep that up for Lamabear here. And he has been able to secure that red buff. And now, he's just going to haul ass, or is he going to look for that bot lane play? No, he's just getting out of there.
He's getting out of there. Yeah, I think TynX, he saw TynX in the mid lane. He didn't want to have any shenanigans on the bottom side of the map. TynX is now going to head over and take his own Razor Beak soon. He's going to pick him up, and I imagine then just move up towards topside jungle, take his blue, and chill.
Yeah, so TynX doesn't have much emphasis on this Graves pick at all to do anything early on. Like, he can really just, as you say, he can just chill. Like, Graves with his scaling is really, really strong. He's got double AP in his solo lanes as well. And plus kind of like a hybrid damage champion coming out of Hades too. So Graves, when he's getting those lethality items, he's probably not going to be coming up against a huge amount of armor from the enemy team. And that will really benefit him. He'll be able to do a massive amount of pain once he gets that warrior in chunk.
I kind of want to talk about Graves a little bit, actually, because it's something that this week we've really seen a resurgence of it in the European Masters. What is it about Graves that has kind of brought him back into meta in a way? Because we were at the start of European Masters, it was just Trundle.
Yeah.
Suddenly Graves has just started popping up.
Ooh, I think you're going to kind of find out right here. So Graves has a very good matchup into most of the meta junglers right now. That is a redemption at level. Mate, honestly, I'm getting hot under the collar already. Sorry, I can't deal with this champion. Just annoys me too much.
I remember the last time we cast Zoe and you were just tilted about Zoe being a champion like the entire
That's just like, yeah, I mean, it's starting already. We're only 3 minutes in. But yeah, I mean, you're seeing it right there. Like, Graves has the ability to really pressure enemy junglers. So you get that early game going. You have that scaling as well. He's one of the few AD junglers that can scale in the same way, you know, with the same efficiency that Graves can. And then when you start playing those team fights as well, he's able to really demand a lot of attention to him, unlike some other junglers, which you can just ignore and avoid or disengage from, which always benefits your team and gives them more space to play with.
And TynX wasting no opportunities, using his really excellent clear as the Graves, just walk in and take away jungle camps wherever possible. Now, we talked about Lamabear's focus. It does look like he is heading down towards that bot lane. Immediately the engage comes out onto YellOwStaR. YellOwStaR very low here. Lamabear will have that flag and drag combo available, but I think he's just, yeah. I guess he was just predicting that YellOwStaR was going to flash.
Yeah, he was. And he didn't want to get stuck under the tower there either, because you can easily get stunned up there and then you just die. Like, that's that. So that was actually pretty smart by YellOwStaR to hold on to the flash. Thought that could have been, you know, they don't actually lose a huge amount out of that, so that's not too bad. And Lamabear will have his eyes set on this bot lane, and so far, you know, LDLC have been able to hold on, not lose too much there.
Yeah, and YellOwStaR backed immediately, but I love that Hades just said, okay, fine, let's chill out here. TynX going for a dive, and the top lane gets knocked up. Flash comes out, Bando starts taking damage, but TynX should be able to get first blood. And finally,
that's good.
Little bit of positivity for Bando in that top lane as he sets up TynX on this carry.
Getting that TP out of Pretty as well is really nice, because he has a huge wave crashing on him in that mid lane, which he's going to miss out on. Yeah, he can pick up this one. Yeah, he's not even going to take the one top. He generally just misses out on that wave mid, which is actually huge. Like, look at that. There's already a CS difference there coming out of Zoe for Kassadin, and you know, Kassadin just wants to chill. Like, he's just using this point to farm up. So missing CS waves is really, really not something that Kassadin wants to do.
No, I feel bad there, actually. He kind of teleported expecting to maybe save the day, but the fight was already over by the time the channel had come through, and that's a good start for TynX. We just talked about TynX on this particular carry, on this particular champion. He's kind of known for it. Graves is his thing, and you know, if you're going to have a game on one of your best champions, this is the game to pop off on, and now TynX has been given a platform to do so.
Absolutely, and he's already pretty close to that Warrior Enchant. That is a big spike for junglers. You can see right there, that's 2 long swords in TynX's inventory, which is 20 AD. You know what? Hold that thought, because Vétheo is in trouble.
Oh, he flashes straight into it as well. The heal does come through. Vétheo trying his best here. Oh, the null orb will come out from Pretty. He uses the flash to get it. That was a really nice prediction from the Antonio there, and Vétheo flashed straight into it.
That was really, really, really well played by Antonio, and that's huge as well. That is really big implications for this game, because you know, you're 20 CS down, man, at 6 minutes. That's terrible. That's awful. Kassadin does not want to be in that situation at all. The fact that you're able to get that kill, oh gosh, TynX, what?
Lamabear missed the EQ combo there, and I think TynX will escape with his life in that situation. Has already used the flash, of course.
Yeah, okay. A bit fortunate there for TynX to. Yeah, the hit without the flash, that actually, he could have been mincemeat right there, but he does survive. He has a 2-level lead. That's hashtag just Graves things, by the way. I mean, another reason why you pick Graves. Like, holy moly. You are just so good at keeping that, getting a lead and keeping it, and he's just going to keep invading and putting more pressure on Lamabear here.
And Lamabear going to lose out on his blue buff, you would think. TynX does not have the smite just yet. Lamabear does, so he could try and smite this away from TynX if he wanted to, but YellOwStaR just doing a really good job of zoning right now. Though the hook comes in, YellOwStaR immediately taken pretty low, but we're back out with the magical journey. No one else there to support them either, so it doesn't look like Vodafone Giants can go any further on this engage. And TynX now 7 level 7. And look at him go. I mean, he's the real threat here. He's going to be taking a lot of damage, though, as the engage comes through from Lamabear. But look at TynX. He's just a monster. This man is just an absolute machine. And he takes the first kill away. Vétheo will take the next. LDLC commanding this game. Only 7 minutes in.
2,000 gold lead as well. Like, my goodness. Yeah, I'm so glad we sorted for the gold. 1.9k Lamabear, 3.5 TynX. My goodness. 8 minutes into the game. Honestly, like, this is absolutely brutal. TynX is showing us why he's been so celebrated so far in EU Masters, why he's been viewed as one of the best junglers, if not the best jungler that we've seen. And here we go. So Lamabear takes the unfortunate L there of losing even more jungle camps despite being so far behind. But honestly, Giants are really committed to making this fight happen when you really shouldn't be. There's two reasons. Firstly, there's a slight difference between your junglers, and also your Kassadin. This is a champion that needs to take time to scale. You don't want to be picking fights pre-10 minutes. You can't be doing that. The Giants come out the loser in that.
Yeah, and they are now about 2,000 gold down. Attila has got a kill. Attila has been one of the standout AD carries of this tournament. You would expect it of a previous LEC caliber AD carry. And there's a teleport coming through onto this bot lane. Bando making his way down onto Attila, immediately pops the ultimate to go toe-to-toe with him. He's got a 2-level advantage. I just really don't think Attila is going to be able to trade back against this guy. Bando picks up the kill, and Attila goes down. Nice teleport from Bando, and we did mention at the start of this broadcast, you know, we wanted to see Bando step up. He's had a part in getting TynX set up, a really nice teleport there too. Bando's having a good game.
Yeah, he is, honestly, and oh my goodness, yeah, he's just gonna go. He's just gonna go. There's no flash.
That damage is just disgusting. Vétheo now getting focused here by Pretty and Lamabear. Don't know if he's going to be able to... Oh, yes, he will, because YellOwStaR is there. This is, again, going from bad to worse for Giants. Every lane getting hit hard by the TynX train. TynX now still maintaining that 3-level advantage. This dude, I mean, he single-handedly... Like, when Vétheo went down in the mid lane, TynX's level advantage single-handedly kept that dragon in play for LDLC because he was just such a threat by himself. The Giants couldn't actually commit to the
9 to 5. Just throwing that out there. Level 5 Lamabear. Level 9. This is vile. What is going on? Okay, prediction. If LDLC win this game, this might be the last game that we see Graves open again against TynX. Just gonna throw that one out there. Holy moly.
Why? I mean, they knew he played him, right? Yeah. Like, this is something that he's kind of known for, and with Graves coming back into the meta, it feels like it's a no-brainer just to say we don't want TynX playing that champion. But TynX feels pretty confident. He's going to drop that Rift Herald straight up.
Goodness.
Oh, he's doing more damage than Zoe. He makes Zoe's burst look moderately passable.
What do you do against this? Honestly, like, TynX is not reinventing the wheel by any means when he's going for these mid plates. He literally just shows up, starts right-clicking the tower. Once he's got a few plates, he chucks down Shelly to get the true damage to finish it off. And then, you know, like, it's perfectly telegraphed, but the Giants just can't do anything about it. This is, holy, my goodness, genuinely doubling up the goal difference between Lamabear and TynX here. Legit. It's not even exaggeration.
Not even, you aren't exaggerating. It is quite literally 100 gold away from a complete doubling of gold. That is almost an entire tier 3 item that TynX is going to have over his opposite number. Lamabear has had no way of getting into this game. TynX has been in his jungle. TynX has been taking away camps whenever possible. He got the double scuttle start. He got the positive trade and skirmish in the blue side jungle. This has been the TynX game. And he has really stepped up when LDLC needed that carry from him. You're kind of seeing why this guy is one of the most promising jungle talents that Europe has to offer. He's a very, very good individual player.
Yo, and can I just say, oh goodness, Lamabear, I hope for your sake you get this. Oh, whew. Mate, if he's, you know, like, oh my goodness, I feel for him at this point. I really do. I've been on the receiving end of these kind of plays far too often. And I just, you know, I'm just going to throw it out there. TynX, when... yeah, he's going to go for it. He can't chase Pretty down. You're OP as hell, man, but come on. He's just even... Oh, my God. Even has to flash. That's a lot of respect there.
Ooh, Bando here going for the 1v1 versus the Antonio. Attila does turn up. Bando doing his best, but Antonio gets a good flash out. I think this will be the end of Bando. Difficult to say about that one. Maybe he just didn't realize that the swap was coming out from Attila right there. But Bando's still finding some good 1v1 plays, especially with that Leandri's finished.
I think at this point in the game, you're not really expecting the lane swap because there's no Herald to take. But I think Giants are just doing this to just try and get some tempo back and to just get out of all of their losing matchups. Like, literally every single one of their laners is falling behind at this point, is struggling in one way or another. And you have to really respect TynX. So you know he's probably going to be playing around bot side with Dragon too. So you just move away from that. You try and get to the safe zone. And TynX 10 to 6 at this point.
Level 10 to level 6?
Holy
Is that even fair?
You know, Trouble Inc says she has illegal champions. What about illegal plays? You watching this, Trouble? Does this get on your illegal list? Because I mean, there's something criminal about it. That's for sure.
TynX's Graves is illegal. I'm putting it out there. It's just not allowed anymore. It's just not allowed. This guy is just too good.
Okay, we've been hyping up TynX, okay? And look, this guy used to watch my videos, by the way, when he first started playing League. Fact, I met him in 2018, he told me so. Just gonna throw that one out there. But I want to focus a little bit more over to Giants, because we've been singing TynX's praises. We've been really hyping up LDLC right now, and they're obviously in a great spot. But this is the tiebreaker game. This is the #1 seed out of Spain, a ridiculously strong region. There are still ways for them to win this game. And on the bright side, TynX having a lot of the gold, if not, a huge amount of gold over the opponents, isn't a huge thing if you can hold on, because you've got scaling coming out of Kassadin. You've got a really, really good team fight. You have an easy execution in your team fight as well. And yeah, Jarvan's having an absolute nightmare this game. I'm not even really blaming him. It's just being given to him, and there's not much he can do about it. But all he wants to do is be an engaged bot, you know, like, and it doesn't take a lot to be able to function like that. So game is far from over at this point for Giants. There are ways to win, but LDLC so far totally commanding.
Going to be the ultimate coming out from Hades here, locking up the Antonio. Antonio bites back with the Ornn, and that will end that engage in its tracks. And I do like what you mentioned here. Giants are the first seed out of the SLO for a reason. It's not like they're going to be completely out of this game. It does look pretty grim for them, given the gold disadvantage that they currently hold. But if they lose this is the first seed from the SLO going out of the tournament. And then it is up to Movistar Riders to provide the SLO with anything coming into the quarterfinals. That would be huge for them. They have got the likes of Attila. Attila's still very capable of carrying when he needs to. And yes, okay, it's going to take a bit of work for him to get there, but they've got the scaling of the Kassadin too. You know, like you said, if they can hold on long enough, there is some sliver of hope for Giants. Even though it looks grim right now, I don't want to count them out completely, because we have seen stranger things happen. Even in this tournament alone, we have seen stranger things happen.
Yeah, definitely. E-Masters is always full of these kind of surprises. The fact that we're even seeing LDLC and Giants in the tiebreaker game fighting off for their lives, to me, that's already a surprise, you know, like, so we've definitely seen some strange things, and some even more strange things can happen. Bando is setting up a trap here. Some Alcove Gaming, did they see that? Ooh, they didn't see that. Pretty could be in trouble here.
He's pretty going to find the exit strategy. I think he might just be dead in this situation. He's not even going to bother trying to burn anything. Just dance around here. Hades picks up the kill. 1-0-2 now. The 28 KDA gamer continuing his strong KDA performance.
Yeah, legit. In his last 3 Varus games, he's died once. Straight up. And he hasn't died in this game either just yet. So Hades has really been a bit of an unsung hero for LDLC. I think, to be honest, the bot lane in general, like, we don't put a lot of a spotlight on them, but they really are. They're really reliable, you know, like they are a backbone of this squad, where you have some more kind of like flashy members in your team, or some more kind of high highs and potentially low lows. But, you know, these guys are just very consistent, like, and that's always good to have, you know, when you have that kind of rock that you can play around, that you can always rely on.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hades has got that kind of KDA for a reason. I do think you're correct in saying that it hasn't really been the bot lane of LDLC that has let them down in the past. I think they've been very, very strong performers. Even YellOwStaR, you know, a guy who hadn't played, I don't think before he'd played the support role for LDLC this season, I don't think he'd played professional league in quite some time, although TynX immediately dives away, everything misses, the Ornn comes through, but will anyone able to follow up on it? I just don't know. TynX looking like he can get out of this situation. That could have been a huge bounty just delivered to Giants, but they can't execute.
That was it. That is exactly what Giants were looking for, right there, and you just missed the dredge line, and you missed the flag and drag. Like, wow, that's a tilter. That's a big tilter, because that was a window, you know. That is something you really have to punish. You have to capitalize on that right there. Oh man, yeah, sucks for Giants, but they're still just sitting back, playing the scaling game, trying to stem the bleeding a little bit, but the gold lead has extended itself now to almost 7,000 gold. Like, okay, no, that is about yeah, it's pretty painful at this point in Scoundrel, mate.
Yeah, I know, but pre-20 minutes, a 7,000 gold lead, you're just looking at a still 4-level disadvantage for your jungler. And TynX is not letting up on the counter jungling. He's continuously finding those openings into the blue and red side jungle, removing farm from Lamabear, and you can do that because those mid lane turrets went down so early. He's got that freedom to do so. Lamabear steps right onto a control ward, gets taken down to 25% HP, and the stopwatch is having to keep him alive. Now Antonio dives in, TynX over the wall. It's going to be a lot of damage onto Bando right now, but he is tanking it up. Vétheo bites back, and Bando picks up the first kill here. TynX continuing that pressure. Can anyone stop this man? He is just untouchable right now on this Graves. A double kill for Bando. And LDLC continue the charge. Lamabear, I think, will escape with a sliver of HP here. Hades maybe just giving him that lifeline for some reason. I think he maybe thought he was dead, but that will be the dragon secured for LDLC at the end of it.
And that's something we haven't talked about so far, is the dragons. And obviously LDLC has had total dragon control this game. It's going to be an Infernal Drag, which I really think TynX is very happy about. Like, Infernal Dragon, the Infernal Soul is so good at snowballing games. Plus, even just the stats you get from taking Infernal, like the extra AD and stuff like that, is absolutely beautiful for someone like Graves. So that's another thing that Giants are going to be kind of scared of. But there is a TP flank here.
Yeah, the Antonio comes down looking for an Ornn straight onto YellOwStaR, who immediately magical journeys away. Vétheo, I think, will go down. And I don't think anyone will lose their lives on Giants there as they manage to pick up that kill. You will take those scraps. You take those scraps, Foxy.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this one, like how Vétheo dies here, because he was golden to start off with, but then, oh no, this is way before here. So this is when where Lamabear survives with a sliver of health, as you quite rightly put it. And Bando looks like he's getting clouts on, but this is the power of Mordekaiser, man. You start focusing him, and then he just turns it into 1v1. You know, and sure, Erdote isn't exactly like a prime target, but Bando is able to survive. He was up with his Conqueror and just by being Mordekaiser. And there you go. You know, like, he's just buying time for your team, and that's just really Mordekaiser-like. And LDLC were able to take that fight.
I have to correct myself. I thought Hades just missed an auto attack. I think Lamabear flashed out of AA range there, so he couldn't actually finalize that kill. So apologies, Hades. I didn't mean to say that you let him get away. He actually just managed to flash out of that auto attack range. All right, they're going to pop the Rift Herald top, it looks like. Just going to slam it down. I don't think they found a better opportunity. I mean, almost every turret, like relevant turret, is kind of gone at this point. TynX again acting like that frontline tank onto the Antonio. I mean, Antonio's supposed to be tanky. TynX is just tearing him apart. And he'll take a chunk out, get the kill, and they'll set up for this tier 2 push. Right
there is phase rush Graves as well, the power of that, plus the Nimbus Cloak coming through the runes. Definitely something that's exceptionally hard to run away from. A bit like this, actually, the Shadow Realm. Taking TynX. Oh, TynX!
Taken very low here. He will somehow escape again. Erdote does go down to Bando in that 1v1, who's had a pretty solid game himself. He's going even further, though, pushing onto this inhibitor turret as they take it down. This should be the inhibitor. Shelly getting so much value on this second push, and they will pick up that second inhibitor, and LDLC will back off.
Whew. Okay. LDLC, I feel like they're flirting with death here. They're flirting with danger a little bit, but it's not quite enough. I mean, when you have 10,000 gold lead at 21 minutes, then you really do have a lot of wiggle room to be a little bit overzealous there. 5.4k to 10k from TynX. Holy moly, there's a 4,000 plus gold lead at 20 minutes. That's kind of scary. But even outside of TynX, like, there's pretty significant leads in the solo lanes too. Like, that's something we haven't really even touched on, but Bando, he's doing a great job on that Mordekaiser. He's pretty far ahead of Antonio. Vétheo is pretty far ahead of Pretty as well, despite that level difference where Pretty is, you know, he's building up. He's getting to that level 16 point. I'm just in a pretty good spot here.
Duskblade Graves, by the way, just been finished.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, Lethality Graves is just like, oh my goodness.
That's going to be insane, yeah. I am just saying, alongside that Black Cleaver, the Duskblade now finished, this guy's going to be bursting, like two-shotting Pretty and Attila, it feels like. Speaking of Pretty, he went for the double scaling on the Kassadin, so taking even longer to ramp up to sort of that final power level. It is going to be the Baron started up, Erdote jumps in with the hook onto YellOwStaR, who immediately ults himself. And may end up escaping here. He has got that magical journey to get him through that Baron pit, and in the meantime, Bando pulls in Attila, who ults over the wall, trying to force LDLC away here, but it really feels like it would have to be a last chance saloon steal coming out from Lamabear. They're going to wait for the flag and drag. He goes in anyway. That's a good smite from TynX, and they will let the Jarvan go down in the pit as TynX moves forward.
Level 14 to level 10. It's not the 5 level difference that we've been seeing a little bit in this game, but it's still significant enough that you're not going to be able to outsmite that right there. That's pretty painful stuff. And LDLC, they're just barreling down into the base. This could be it right now, Scoundrel.
LDLC looking to live up to expectations, and they certainly have in this game. TynX is back, baby, on one of his best champions, and he proved why in this game. LDLC taking out the Nexus turrets, booking their place in the quarterfinals, and will be going to that tiebreaker game versus Rogue just after this. Guys, you've won the game. Okay, you haven't won the game.
Have they?
But you should have won the game. You should have won the game.
Yeah,
you let me do the ending moment.
That's
and now
the
I have
comeback.
To reset.
That's the comeback, man. You see that 1k shutdown onto Kassadin? He's over 14. There it is. Bam. Mark this moment.
Oh my god.
This is
he's actually now only he's only 1,000 gold behind Vétheo now as well.
And it's not just a kill, but now you get the Infernal Dragon too, right? It's Infernal Dragon spawning in 20 seconds and TynX has 30-second death time. So LDLC thinking that they can get away with this one. They've got the Baron. They have limited minions, but you know it's enough when you got that Baron empowered beautiness going on there. Yeah, TynX just gets a little. Honestly, the entirety of LDLC, it's like this is only 20 minutes into the game, right? And you're thinking, yeah, we've got some kills, we're doing some things, but you don't really, you've got to respect the low death timers and all that kind of stuff too. So able to make that one happen, and like I say, TynX is now just respawned. Oh my goodness. I think that was a whiff smite, but you got it, so that's fine, Lamabear, good job. And there you go, now you've built more time for you, 5 extra minutes before that next Infernal Dragon spawns. And that's all you need right now for Giants, you just need a little bit more time. Well, it's not all you need quite a lot to be fair, but that's one of the things that you need if you're Giants, so they'll be happy to take that one.
I got baited. I thought they were just going to win right there and then. I mean, I think they've still probably. I think they've still probably won, Foxy. I'm not looking at this game suddenly thinking a 10k gold advantage is going to disappear into thin air for Vodafone Giants. I would say that LDLC are massively in the driving seat, but yeah, they're going to wait a little bit longer to book their place in the quarterfinals. Vétheo just get taken so low here by Pretty, who flashes forward with, or rather, Rift walks forward to look for the kill. But LDLC now will push into that middle inhibitor turret. Antonio forced to flash away. Does have that Ornn going and will land it onto TynX, but a good stun from YellOwStaR stops the engage coming out from Vodafone Giants. So much damage coming in onto the Vodafone Giants roster, and LDLC still look relatively healthy.
Yeah, I'm kind of romanticizing Giants here and their ability to make this comeback, but hey, if there's a way to do it, then they've tried. I don't know, man. It's going to be really tough to stop this at this point. Giants even use some of their cooldowns there, like, yeah, there comes a bit of time too. Like, they're really throwing everything at trying to defend this, and LDLC are perfectly fine playing it the way they are.
Yeah, again, they can just take it easy. They still have a huge gold differential. No need to take the same kind of risks they took on that last push towards the Nexus. LDLC would have to literally throw this off a 1,000-story building to really have a chance of dropping this game. I think the Giants have got their work cut out for them here, but LDLC should be victorious here. I'm saying should because things can change, but it does really feel like it is very much so LDLC's game to lose.
Yeah, but Giants are definitely not going to quit until they see that defeat screen. Unlike You're a Scoundrel wants to call it right here and right now, they're going to keep giving it the role. They are number 1. Out of Spain. If they lose this one, they are out of EU Masters. We had high. Oh, good lord, no. This is happening. Okay, alright. That's cool. Chill out. We're fine. I get nervous. I start sweating anytime anyone gets anywhere near TynX. He's so much damage. He's going for more lethality here as well.
YellOwStaR, he just ults himself. He's going to be able to go through the magical journey if he needs it, although he's taken very low. Will escape, I think, is going to get away with his life as well. Should be able to heal if he runs into any trouble. Although the Ornn comes through. YellOwStaR, can you dodge it? Yes, you can. And in the meantime, Bando going in onto Lamabear, who has about 2 levels on him. And he will be absolutely forced out of the fight. TynX, in the meantime, basically 1v4ing on the front line, chasing the Antonio down, keeping himself forward. Can't find the extra kill in the end, but it's all that they need to really push through this inhibitor and finally get onto that Nexus, booking their place in the quarterfinals and forcing that matchup with Rogue for seeding later on. Congratulations, LDLC, living up to expectations. I'm calling it. Don't bait me. I'm actually going to call it this time, guys.
It'll be hard.
It's 4 versus 3. They're going to go for that Nexus. Bando is trying his best to zone away. TynX, in the meantime, will be able to pick up a couple of kills. This should be the game right now for LDLC. They should should book their place in the quarterfinals. Congratulations. We will see them in the next games, and commiserations to the SLO team, Vodafone Giants. They will not be able to find themselves that spot. Foxy, incredible game. Really felt like it was on the shoulders of TynX. No surprises on his graves there. But LDLC, I mean, does this look like a team that we expected them to look like, one of the tournament favorites?
I don't, sort of, yeah, but in this fashion, I was not expecting this at all. Like, Giants are no pushover. Absolutely. They're one of the best teams in EU Masters, like, hands down. And LDLC just absolutely manhandled them. And look, if I'm Rogue watching this, knowing you have to play versus this, firstly, I'm banning Graves, and secondly, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous going up against this LDLC.
Yeah, we're going to cut to a quick break, Foxy, and when we're back, we will dive into that game in a bit more detail. We will see you very soon.
Magic.
Vous comprenez maintenant pourquoi j'ai créé la Magic? En un clip, vous devenez Magic.
La monture avec ces 2 clips pour 149 €.
C'est Magic.
Dispositif médical.
This is my creed. The boots that make me faster. The items that make me stronger. The potions that I drink. I get the best to be more powerful, so my champion rises to the top. But all this leveling up means nothing if I don't level up myself. It's the healthy potions I drink in real life that make me stronger. Because you can only rule the game when you realize you are your most important champion. To play like a pro, eat like a pro.
Time for a true display of skill.
My axe is ready. Witness true strength.
A gift from me to you. Ooh, ooh.
Another soul lost.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Okay.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the European Masters. LDLC have booked a place out of Group B into the quarterfinals, and they'll be joining Rogue at least, but we have one more game to go to decide who will take first seed. So let's reflect on that game that just happened. LDLC up against Vodafone Giants. It wasn't close. I don't think I can paint it as close. It definitely wasn't. Where did it go wrong for Giants, and what did LDLC do so right?
Well, it all started with the first pick of the draft, that Insta-lock Graves. Honestly, TynX's Graves, like, holy moly, that was an absolute clinic. The difference between him and Lamabear was astronomical. And I'm hesitant to even say like it was a big skill difference. I think there was like one mistake that the Giants really made, which was that engage around like level 4, level 5 at their blue buff area when you got Kassadin, Lamabear was level 4 on Jarvan, and TynX was like level 6 or 7. They shouldn't have fought that fight, but outside of that, like as I'm describing, there was already a 3-level difference. TynX is just absolutely, he just demolished Giants in that game, and I would be absolutely flabbergasted if TynX gets his Graves again moving forward.
Yeah, you can see here, this is a little bit later on into the game. This is where Bando actually got a double kill, but it was still mediated by TynX. I mean, this whole game was mediated by TynX. I don't really think you could paint it in any other light, but Bando had a good game too. I mean, I got to give credit where credit was due. He actually had some positive Mordekaiser moments, and I think actually did make a difference.
Yeah, Bando had a really solid game. I think he was... yeah, absolutely, just part of the win as well. Obviously it's really hard to take the spotlight away from TynX in this game, but definitely he is someone that should take some praise too. And anytime you're watching these team fights, if you just keep your eye on TynX, like it's like the Red Sea just parting around him. Like wherever wherever he is in a fight, Giants are like, oh hell no, we don't want to be here, and they just scatter. They're just gone. And like having that much kind of like presence in a fight is so valuable. Like it creates so much space for your team, and it just makes it so hard to play. And as you're seeing here, LDLC beating the Giants in that first tiebreaker. So Giants, unfortunately, they are going to be going home, which is where they should already be, to be fair. And LDLC will be going to the quarterfinals, and our next game will determine who is the #1 seed coming out of Group B, Rogue or LDLC.
It is going to be Ago Rogue taking on LDLC for that first seed coming out of Group B, and we've got a bit of time soon to dissect that, but I've been impressed with Ago Rogue. I have been very impressed by this team, especially Shigenda. I think he's been an incredible player. I think probably one of the best top laners in the tournament. So I'm kind of looking forward to this matchup. Let's kind of look forward to that, because I think realistically there's not much else you can say about the Giants LDLC game. It was just the TynX show. You gave him Graves. You done messed up. It's basically the way that you can paint it. What about this matchup then? Rogue versus LDLC. Do you think that there is going to be as much of a jungle difference? Is there any other ways that we can sort of see a path for Rogue to take a commanding lead here? I just kind of want to know your thoughts on how these teams fare up against each other.
So I think not just recency bias, but I think overall TynX has been such a good jungler in EU Masters so far, and for me, one of the players that I want to see step up in the entirety of EU Masters, but especially obviously in this matchup, it's Zanzara, who is Rogue's jungler. I haven't really seen a lot of kind of like spark out of him, and I think you're probably not going to be playing versus the Graves, so you're probably safe from that front. But either way, like you got to try and get something going, because you have exceptionally good solo laners. You have good carries across the board on Rogue. Woolite has been doing really well, apart from 1 or 2 Woolite moments. Shigenda, as you say, he's really good as a top laner. Chocolado as well has been very solid in that mid lane. So there are loads of threats on Rogue. I just want to see if they can really kind of facilitate those threats.
Actually, conversely, we have criticised LDLC solo laners. I think there's been some fingers pointed towards Bando and Vétheo a little bit throughout this tournament as maybe not performing maybe as well as TynX and the bot lane have. Conversely, I actually think the solo laners from Ago Rogue are really good. I think Shigenda and Chocolade are both incredibly good solo laners, and I think maybe this is where we could see some differences open up in this particular game. I do think there is a solo lane advantage for Ago Rogue coming into this, but as you mentioned, TynX versus Zanzara, TynX kind of has that bout hands down. So we are actually being told that the teams are ready to go. So we're going to cut to a break, and then when we're back, we should be jumping into Champion Select for our next game.